Okay, here we are. What we're going to do now is talk about resistors. Okay, resistors are those little funny little things that look like candy that stick in on a circuit board and use them for alarm panels and so forth. So on the Florida electrical exam, in all the categories, EC, EF, EG, ES, all the categories, you may have questions on the value of resistors and what the values are and how to calculate them and so forth. It's real simple. So let's get right to it here. Let's see, resistors. This is an example of a resistor. They're either made of carbon, some form of semiconductor that restricts the flow of current through them. Sometimes they're wire wound, meaning they have just a little wire wrapped around there a bunch of times, and that wire actually causes the resistance, because as you know, the further the wire, the longer the wire, the more resistance there is on those conductors. So in any case, that's a resistor. Below there you can see the schematic representation of the resistor. It's just a zigzag line. That's something you're going to want to remember, because those are going to be in some of your circuit diagrams. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the resistor here. Resistors have these color bands on them, and you look at a resistor from the left and read it from the left to the right. So when you look at a resistor, you'll see there's a gap between the color bands, and the value of the resistor is to the left of that gap, and then to the right of the gap would be your tolerance, or your variability, or your nominal value, meaning that it could go a little bit higher by 5%, for example, or a little bit below the value by 5%, minus or plus, or 10% minus or plus, or 2% on a more defined resistor. Real simple to read these. You look at the resistor's color code, and the first stripe or color on the left, far left, will be the first number of the resistor's value. And then to the right of that is the second color band, which is the second value of the resistor's number. And then the third color band would be what we call the multiplier. And that's just a number that is multiplied by the first two values or factors to come up with the value of the total resistance of that particular resistor. And then, of course, the one that's far off on the right would be the tolerance, the variability of the resistor. If it's like, say, 47K or 47,000 ohms. Ohms is what resistors are measured in, ohms resistance. And maybe it's 5% below that or 5% above that, okay, on the tolerance. So let's take a quicker look at this here. You can see here, this gives you a real good defined example. The first digit far left, then the second digit, then the multiplier, and then the tolerance. Now some resistors have more than just 4 bands, and that's if they're going to define it a little bit more. They might have on the left, they might have 4 bands on the left and then 1 band on the right. You could have a 2% tolerance, which would be less of a variability on that resistance value. Maybe you need a more defined resistance for some circuit or some sort of thing you're wiring. And so you would have a more defined, a more accurate resistance value, and you might have some more bands. But really, we're just looking at, in our industry, pretty much just 3 bands on the left and that tolerance band on the far right. So the first one on the left is that color code defines the first digit, and then the second color code defines the second digit, and then again the third one is the multiplier. Okay, so let's go a little further with this, and I'll show you exactly what we're talking about here. If you look at the first digit on the far left, you can see it has values based on different colors, right? So 0 is black, 1 is brown, 2 is red, 3 is orange, and then so forth. Okay, so the first value there is number 4, which is yellow. So yellow tells me that's a 4. Okay, it could be 4 ohms, it could be 400 ohms, it could be 40 something ohms. It just tells me the first number of the resistor's value. The second digit, or the second color band, which in this case is purple, it shows the second number of the resistor's value, right? So in this case, purple is what? It's 7, right? So that's 4, 7, okay, 4, 7. And then the third color band, right next to the tolerance band there, is the multiplier. The number that we would multiply the first two numbers by to come up with the entire value of that particular resistor. So in this case, it's orange, which is 1,000, and that would be 3 zeros. All you have to do, instead of multiplying it by 1,000, 47 times 1,000 is 47,000. But you can just move the three zeros over there, and you know that makes 47,000, which is 47,000 or 47K, because K represents 3 zeros or 1,000. Okay, this is all represented by ohms. You know, the upside down horseshoe, whatever you want to call it, but it's all ohms. It's a measurement of resistance. And then on the far right, you come across the tolerance band. In this case, it is gold, which is 5%, okay? And that means it could be 5% more than 47,000 or 5% below 47,000 and still be within the range that is usable for that particular circuit, okay? And it could be a silver band, which means 10% above or 10% below, okay? Or then there's another color for 2% and so forth. But we're really just concerned in our exam here for 5 and 10%. Okay. Now, I've given some of you these charts, okay, on a supplementary sheet. They are in the alarm books, okay. I believe it's Understanding and Servicing Alarm Systems is where it's at, okay. You may not have it in the telecom book, the limited energy the ES category. I believe it might, I take that back, it might be in the telecommunications book. But in any case, it's somewhere in one of your books. You need to find it, know where it's at, maybe tab it, and be able to use it if you don't have my supplemental sheet that you can reference, okay? So let's continue on here. Let's take a look at this resistor here, and let's determine the value. Now, it's red, orange, red, and gold. I drew this. I didn't separate the gold from the other ones, but if it's gold or silver, you know that's the right side of the resistor, and that's going to mean tolerance, because there is no gold or silver on the other three factors, okay, the 1, 2, or 3 representation here. So let's go back and look at what red represents. Red is 1, and that would be what? 2, right? And then the second one is orange. Let's go back and find orange. Orange would be 3, right? Okay. And then the multiplier is going to be what? It's going to be red. And let's go back and find red on the third digit there. And that would be 100, right? Okay. So that comes out. And then gold, of course, is what? That's the tolerance band. And in this case, gold is 5%. Okay. Let's just go. There's the answer. 2,300 ohms at a 5% tolerance. That's how you would say that. If you wanted to, you could also say that as what? 2.3 K, right? Just move it over. The decimal point is right after the 2,300, and you can move it over to the left 3 spaces, and you can call it 2.3 K or 2,300 ohms. Okay, let's do another one. What is the value of the below resistor? We've got orange, red, black, and silver. Okay, let's work this together. Oh, got to go back there far. So orange is 3, right? And red, I think I remember that. Yeah, red is 2. And what's our multiplier on that one? Multiplier is black. So let's go back and see what the multiplier is. Black is 1. So you just multiply it by 1. Okay, well, 1 times anything is going to give you whatever the number is, right? And then what was the tolerance on that? Silver, wasn't it? Yeah, silver. And that would be 10%. So let's go look for the answer. And the answer is 32 ohms with a 10% tolerance. 10% above, 32 ohms, 10% below. Okay. and means variability. It means nominal value. It may not be exactly 32 ohms. It might vary by 10% plus or 10% minus, but it's going to be darn close to 32 ohms. Okay. I think we got maybe one more on here. Okay, let's do one more. Red, red, gold. Red, red, orange, and gold. Okay, red, red, orange, and gold. All right. I'll let you figure that one out. All right. You got it? If you need time, pause the recording. All right. Should be easy enough. 22K at 5%. So tells me right there that the first value, red, is 2. The second value, red, is 2. And then the orange tells me that that is what? Multiplied by 1,000. Okay, because it's got K there. So it could be 22,000 or 22K. All right, and then gold tells me there's a 5% tolerance. Okay. All right. That's it for this session on resistors. Thank you very much.